What up, dog homies and homies? It's your homeboy Grant Tizzle, and we are back for another episode. We will be coming back to this one. I don't know if I already showed you this one, but we'll be coming back to this one to get into detail about that. But I wanted to put together another one, and here is the third installment of Photoshop tutorials. And this is the preview of what we're going to be getting into. Now, believe it or not, we actually haven't even created it yet. We're going to do it from scratch. That's the reason why I want to do it from scratch, y'all, because I want to be able to walk y'all through step by literal step. You understand me? And we're just going to create something crazy. Now, the reason why I want to go step by step, because if we run into any mistakes or, any quirks or anything like that, you'll be able to discern better how to deal with it. Now, it's a few things I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about this here. There's an action that the secret elite like to use. And the action, we'll talk about that, but it throws this design on it back there. And this is something that you can create yourself, or you can pick up what we call actions. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with actions, but if you're not familiar with an action is a kind of like a preset. Now, they're more expensive presets because they're done by experts that spend hours upon hours upon hours of Photoshop magic. And they put together Photoshop magic. And what they does is they record their steps by selecting something called actions. This is an action right here, that hit action. And you're able to record every step. So even in doing this tutorial, I could actually record every single step. Now, the reason why everybody don't do it, and it's kind of an art into doing actions, is because every action don't work. Sometimes the actions stop and something go wrong. So a lot of people don't use actions, or should I say a lot of people don't create actions. But those who do create actions are considered Photoshop experts. Now, we're not on the expert level right now, but we can look like we're on expert level via the secrets that I'm going to reveal to you today, which in part one is actions. The other thing is I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to show you a link. And these are the things you pay for, fam. You know, this information you just don't get, randomly. This is expert information. So that's what you're paying for. But you're always going to have the serious advantage over your competition. Now, there's a guy here named Seven Styles. Now, one of the places, and I don't know if I introduced you to this place, but this is called Envato Market. Now, Envato Market is a place where you might want to go when you want to really elevate your game and you really want to save a lot of time. And they have templates here. They got website templates, and I don't know if you already watched the web development video, but there's when you really dive into the media game, you're going to want to utilize this a whole lot. Now, keep in mind, this is kind of like an expert market. This is an expert market. And I call it an expert market because although we can produce websites, WordPress, HTML, CMS, e-commerce, and all these different type of things, we still want shortcuts, and we still want to pay other experts to do some of the tasks for us or some of the jobs for us. Now, we can sit here for hours and hours upon days putting these things together, or we can simply just come over to a media market, or for lack of better words, Envato Market, and we can simply purchase shortcuts. All right, so we get into a whole lot more detail about this in later tutorials, but this is the place to go. And in this particular place, well, not Video Hive. I do use Video Hive, and we will be doing some tutorials. I'm going to show you some things which you can do with pictures and all kind of beautiful, wonderful things. Audiojungle is, you might not want to get music here because if you're a music producer, unless you're looking for a different type, a different style of music, then you may come here to get some music. But musicians typically don't buy other music. But on the other hand, graphic artists, they do buy other graphics. Video producers, they do buy video product. Web developers, they do buy themes and different development themes and things like that. And as well as 3D artists, they buy 3D models. If you can save you a week by just buying a Ferrari as opposed to building a Ferrari, like for example this truck here. And if you really know what you're doing, you know how to rig the truck and put the truck in an actual movie and make it blow up, and that's a whole nother ball game. But just to let you know how things go, this is the secret market. Everybody don't know about it, but those who do know about it, they making money, they benefiting, because either you're selling on here or you're buying. Either way it go, even if you're buying, you're still making money, because you're not going to buy nothing from here that you're not going to make no money from to your clients. Okay, so with that being said, I purchased some actions. And some actions, this is what this background here is. Now, don't get me wrong, of course I can produce this, but an action, just put it together for you real fast. And with that in mind, we're going to produce some new material with an action in mind. All right, so with that, first thing we're going to do, and the other tool I like to use is, I like my text to look realistic and rich sometimes, not all the time, but when I do, I like to use something like Adobe After Effects. And I don't know if you're familiar with After Effects, but this is it's a 3D program here that you can add to After Effects. And if you're not familiar with it, we'll talk about it a little bit more, because you're going to have to get familiar with it, because we're going to be doing a lot of tutorials with special effects, 3D effects, and all sorts of beautiful things, and you're going to want to know, learn, and understand how to operate this. Right now, Adobe After Effects, it used to be really expensive to get into. A couple $1,000 you can buy the software. I think a little less than a little less than $1,000. But oh my God, that was so wrong. I hope ain't none of y'all tired, because after watching that, you know how it gets contagious. I was trying my best not to do that yarn, and I ain't even tired. That's what's even more aggravating. All right, so anyway, fam, this is a Sundance. This is a plugin that I purchased, and what we're going to do here is we're going to pick one of these images. We're going to pick a, let me see, it really can be anything. It's just as long as I get, like, there's a few images where the top of her head is chopped off. Now, this is an artist that I've been working with. I shot her video, and you guys may have already seen that. We're picking, her name is Taj. She's a baby girl. This is one of my close friend's daughters. And we've been in the music industry all our life, and she basically grew up under that. And I don't know if I want to use any of these bikini ones. I'm not really sure. But anyway, her dad is a full-blown Indian, muscle-bound. He would knock your jaw loose if you try to harass his daughter, so nobody messes with his kids. No, I think I better stick with something different here. Let's work with her and the fatigue there. Yeah, this might be better. This might be better here. I think I like it. Actually, I like this one. But I gotta make sure her head ain't chopped off. So I'll select both. Okay, we'll take this. I don't like the head that's chopped off right there. All right, so let's go in here and let's kind of just chop this up and bring her into play. So we use this tool, and it's the Mighty Pen tool, and I love the Mighty Pen. I suggest that you guys, use the Mighty Pen. And you save you a lot of time and money, because time is money. So if you can save time, you're saving money. You can get onto other projects and things like that. Now, the idea here, fam, is to kind of just give you a little bit of idea of how to, really put together extremely productive looking very time consuming looking, because when people look at your graphics, uh, when you're doing flyers or something like an album cover or anything like that, and it's not called for everything, but in our genre, fam, and our nature of what we're doing, we are more into what's popping, what's very graphic. A lot of things don't require that. Like, for example, Kmart or Walmart, it don't require all of this super duper colorful, hot, bling and blasting graphics, but hip hop does, and the party scene does. You don't want to have a Kmart looking boring looking flyer when you are producing something for a club, or if you're trying to get people to come to your party. You want it to look colorful, popping, blazing, look like it's going to be fun. So you use those type of colors. For example, if you're trying to throw an Easter party, you're going to use those particular type of colors. So you may use the powder blues and the powder pinks, the pastel pinks and the yellows, because that kind of represents summer, Easter, egg field environment. You're going to use some green trees, palm trees maybe. We're going to right click that. Now, we got everything selected. So we're going to right click this right now and make a selection. And then I like to just simply, I can cut and paste or copy and paste. I'll just cut and paste and delete the background. And what we're going to do here is let's take this, and we can remove this. I'll get back to that later. Actually, I like that. But this is going to be nice here. So we take that, put that over here. Boom. I don't like the fact that I have to blow it up. I got to get with the photographer. Her name is Corey Black. She's a brilliant photographer. She do a whole lot more than just photography, but she specializes in photography. I got to get with her because I want higher resolution pictures, and she had to shrink them down so she can send them all to us. Anyway, is there any? I don't think there's any adjustments that I need to make here. The only thing that I would do before I turn this into a background layer, because we need to turn it into a background layer before we can really get some things going. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, it don't look like there's much that needs to be done, so I'm just going to enhance it a little, and I'm gonna make a backup copy like I always do. A non-destructive copy, so in case I screw up I can go back. Meanwhile, I'm going to adjust some levels, just put a little bit more shadow in it, and then I'll bring that up to put a little sheen to it, a little pop. And it's pretty saturated. Everything is kind of where they need to be. All right, so I can delete this background now, and what I'm gonna do is merge this. So I'm gonna hold Control E. And what I just did was converted that to a background. Now what I'm gonna do is actually here, let me undo that. I'm sorry. Let me undo that. Since I already got this selected, we're gonna need to make a selection. So I'm just gonna do that in advance. So I'm gonna make a selection. I'm gonna paint that black. All right, so now we got that, because we're gonna need that later. Now let's take this and I'm gonna merge it to the background. Okay, because this have to be a background layer. Now I'm going to use an action, and that's the reason why I'm utilizing it in this way. Now, one thing that the owner of the brushes, what he told us to do was call this brush. Call that brush, and it was important that this was called brush for his actions to work. Now what we're going to do is, so let me do something here. I'm gonna put some white. Let me paint the back white here. All right, so this is what we have. That's what we have, and that. So now we can run this brush. Run this action. So we're gonna go to actions, select action, and here's the action here. It's called Sundance. So let's run this Sundance. Let's just hit play and get that going. Now the action, what it's gonna do is go take things, chop it up, break it up, bust it up, do what it do. Okay, there's one thing I should have did. I apologize. Let me pause this real quick. Okay, I'm sorry, fam. I made a mistake. I have to invert this. So actually, the inside of this is supposed to be white. Ding dong. So that's supposed to be white. So let's just create that layer here. Okay, this is white. And the background of that is supposed to be black. Goofball. So all we got to do is just create another layer. Let me just deselect that, create a whole new layer. Okay, now that's how it should be. Merge that, delete this one, and now call this one brush. Okay, that's better. Now let's run this action one more again. Okay, we're letting it do what it do. Okay, we're gonna push play and let it do what it do. So it's adding a few elements, the type of elements that that we can add in there manually, but this is much more quicker. Look at all that work done in just a few seconds. So now what we got to do is add a shape to it. So I'm gonna hit stop, and we're going to go here. Now this is based on this is his instructions on how to run his action. So I'm gonna select this one here, and I'm gonna make sure we got shape selected up there. Okay, we do. So we'll pull this down like that. Oops. Yeah, let me undo that. And pull it down like that. All right, cool. And now that okay, hold on, something went wrong, because actually that's supposed to turn into a shape. All right, let's try that again. Okay, good. Now it turned into a shape. So I want to move it here. Maybe, I'm sorry, not that one. We want to move the shape. I'm going to move the shape something like that. And actually, let's make it smaller, because his effect actually adds some other elements to it, which is super cool. All right, so I think that's cool. So with that, I'm going to apply that, and now we can continue on with the play, with the action. Let it finish doing what it got to do. So it's pretty intense, pretty dynamic what he does with his actions. Later on, of course, once we get more advanced, we can walk into step by step how to produce something like this without an action. But as you can see, it will be intense because you got a lot of layers, hundreds and hundreds of layers. So this is one of the reasons why they would consider this good. Now, I like this, but I think we can actually come up with something better. So the good thing about it, although it took some time, the good thing about it is that we can actually erase all of these actions and start over. Because the way his actions work, they're randomized. So let's start back over, get that, and let's run another action. Let's run it again, see what we can come up with. Now I'm gonna pause it, and because as you see here, it's kind of at random locations. I may even do it again, I don't know. But I'm gonna pause it until I find the one I like. But you see and you know how it works, and we're gonna just go from there. So what's cool, what I find really cool about it is that, especially when you're doing flyers or backgrounds and things like that, the more activity that's going on in the background of the flyer, the more dynamic it looks. And the more dynamic it looks, the more expensive it's kind of coming off. You know, it's coming off really expensive. Now, a note, we got the fire. What he said about this plugin is that it does random movements. So if we was to do this all over again, the fire would be at a totally different location, be at a totally different spot. That's the way his particular action work. So because the fire is so covering her face up so much, I might run this plugin again. I want to see what the final action is. And he say it take about 2 minutes. Okay, this is okay. Let me show you something real quick. He got this layer here where we can select this layer and we can paint inside of it white. So I'm gonna switch this and I'm going to get a soft brush. He gave us a soft brush, and I'm gonna paint inside that white to reveal some of her face. Now maybe we can use it, maybe we can benefit from it, or maybe we want to do another one. So let's see how this is working here. Maybe we'll keep that. Maybe we'll keep it. Maybe. Not really sure. I'm gonna run it again. I'm gonna run it one more time. Then we go in here and we'll tweak it up a little bit. But I want to see what the other randomness is going to be. So I'm not going to torture you with that. I'm gonna delete that and we can run it again. And this time I'm gonna pause it while we run the Sundance again. Okay, fam, so I found something usable that I would like to work with. And what I'm gonna do now is, as you see here, say reveal normal photo. And what he tells you to do is take a brush, which he give you here, and anything that you put white inside of this block here is going to free that up. So let's select white. And if I hit in there, you'll see that it's freeing it up. Now I want to be detailed because I really don't want to lose the texture of her face. So I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna fine tune some things. I'm gonna shrink some things here. I want the flame and engulfing around or whatever the case may be. But I don't want to take away the realness of her face. So I'm gonna pull up some flames too. I'm gonna shrink some flames down so we can kind of cut in there, kind of cut so that the flames can look like it's wrapping around her head or dissipating when they get like close to her face or whatever. All right, and maybe we can go back to smooth and kind of just get some little spots in there. Now we're gonna contrast this up. Y'all know I love contrast, right? Okay, so that's kind of cool there. Look like a little bit of her clothes on feels nicer. Cool. All right, we're gonna cover all that up, so don't worry about that line there. All right, and that's pretty much it. Now, what I like again is it looked very, very dynamic, and all we did was use literally just a few seconds. So that's the secret. Shh, don't run off and tell everybody. All right. So now let's work with these glows real quick. We can adjust some, some saturation. We can also adjust, or should I say change the color here on some of the glow. I think we're okay with that right now. Let's on and off some of the other glows. I kind of want it intense there. So I'll bump up the saturation, kind of adjusting the lights here and all. I still haven't thought of an overall color though. So let me get in here. I want to intensify the flame here. All right, I think that's actually kind of working. We don't need to do anything with the photo. We could change the shape of the color, but I think I want to keep it like that. Not a texture, and this is really making it really intense and very hot. And I'm kind of okay. Let's work with these textures. Let me see if I can pull up some. Let me see if I can change the hue here. We can kind of get some other things going on. I'm kind of liking the green a little because it's in her suit. So I don't want to make it too green because I don't want to lose the intense heat in that. All right, so what we're going to do is, I like this, right? We're going to kind of keep it simple, stupid. And when I say stupid, I'm really talking to myself because, you really can go on and on really with it. We're going to funk around here. I think everything is actually pretty good here. Let's see what happens. I just held Control T to bring that up. I just want to see. Add just a teeny bit more dynamic here. All right, I think that's okay. Look at it. We busy. We got a lot going on. Now we're going to get a little bit more going on by adding a little brush palettes here. I like to use these because it really, add some dynamics to anything. So we're going to go maybe just brown here, and let's go over here and paint some dots there, and we'll paint some dots on the other side. And I'm gonna be careful here to lower the opacity. I don't want that too obvious, right? Just a little sheen. Okay, so now we got a little something. Now we're gonna do something special here. We're gonna go to After Effects, and we already got this pulled up, but we're going to change it. Now let me show you how I did this from scratch. Actually, yeah, let's do this. I'll erase everything. We're gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna show you how I put this together. And I don't know if it even matters. I don't know if you guys is familiar with After Effects, but I like to use After Effects. I like to come over here and use this to create my 3D text. So the first thing I do is create a 3D layer, and then I load up Element, Video Copilot Element 3D, and then I add a new text layer. So we're going to call this Taj. I want to spell her name, Taj. And let's see, do we keep a capital T? Oh, it's not going to give me a capital. Oh, that's fine, because this is, I'm trying to push for that to be the logo anyway. So I'm using this particular font on majority of her artwork. We're going to blow this up. And now what we're going to do here, before we go over to Element, we're going to go to Custom Layers and Custom Text and Mask. And we're going to go to Path Layer and select the text. So now when we go to Scene Setup, we hit Extrude. Now we got her name in here. And I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to zoom in here. And we're going to, first there's something that happens here. Oh, okay, I guess that's good. Now what we're going to do is double click that so we can get some things happen. We're going to extrude it. Make it a little long. And we're going to just come over here and just add some presets. I don't know what preset I'm going to use here. That may actually look good against the background of this flame here. Let's see. Oh, I can't shrink it. Let me see if I pull it. Okay. So let me look. Oh, okay. Ding dong. There you go. All right. So I'm looking at that and I'm looking at that. I think this Taj might actually work. The color. I'm looking at the color. I'm trying to combine, you know, some color that would complement what's going on here. So let me add some other elements in here, like bevel size, depth, curve, and I kind of just randomly do it here. All right, and see shininess. Let me bump up the spectacular there. Reflection. Bump that up a little. And I'm kind of liking that. Maybe if we did some dramatic lighting. Now, even though I'm moving it around, it's not going to look like that when I hit OK. That's how that's going to look. So what I do is I go in here and I tweak with the settings here. So the first thing I'm going to do is tweak with the lighting. And let's use the world transformer so we can kind of zoom in here. We're going to use the world rotation, world scale first. Now, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking that I want it maybe at an angle, something kind of dynamic looking. So I'm going to shrink this here and I'm going to kind of look and see how this is working. I kind of like that silver. And there's some other things that we can do to this. I could throw a few tints on there. Maybe some, let me see what type of lights. Maybe some lights I can use. Okay. So let's see here. We got the world scale. I want to rotate it. Kind of like so. Ooh. Sorry. Sometimes I get my orientation off a little. So I think that might look dynamic, either up or down. That maybe. All right, just because it's different. Now, what I want to do, fam, is I want to kind of throw some shade over here. No shade, no shade. I want to throw some shade over here so we can kind of light this area up over there, and keep it in context with what's going on here already. So it looked like we got some hues happening, but I want to throw maybe some greens and some orange hues in there if I can. So this is where it gets a little tricky for me because I'm still familiarizing myself with the orientation of Element 3D, orientation of lighting and things like that. So first thing, let's cut on our additional lighting, and let's kind of rotate it around till I get something here that I'm okay with. I'm kind of liking that there. Okay, and I think we're all right there. Now, what I'm going to do is add, this is good. I'm going to add some more lighting. So I'm going to add a spotlight, but I'm going to change the color of this spotlight to green. And I will work with the intensity and things like that in a second. Now, I'm going to pull this. There we go. Okay, so we want a little green there. And let me work with a few things here. Let me open up the cone. I think maybe we need to pull that back. Okay, and I'm really wondering if I should actually pause this while I do all this madness. But I guess you can just sit, because this is a little more advanced. So you know, you guys can sit back for a minute and watch what's happening. We're going to change the view here and to top view, so we can actually see where this light is, right? So we can take this and let me pause this. Oh, there we go. Sheesh. Get a stronger computer, bro. No tutorials without no strong computers, bro. All right, and I think that's kind of okay there. Let me move this over here. See what's happening there. All right, what I want to do something kind of special here. And again, the orientation gets a little tricky for me. So if it gets a little tricky for you, don't trip. Just take your time. What I really want to do is light the back. I want to light it from behind. I want to light that image from behind. There we go. Okay, now let me look at this here, Photoshop. Okay, so I'm looking at the green there. And we're also going to we're going to pick an additional light and light some orange. So a few things I want to do. First, let's kind of fine tune this here. All right, so we got just a little green, fine tune it. We close the cone up a little. That's kind of cool. Now, since we're in the back, we're hitting it from the back. Let me copy that. So I'm gonna duplicate that. And let's change this to, what other colors are we working with? And this gives that depth, that definition, fam. It just makes it look more realistic, like it really was there. So we got some orange. So let's try to find some intense orange here. All right. Matter of fact, a little hot red, actually. And we'll keep that, and we'll separate it. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. See, you see. That looks good. See, and let's twirl that around a little, and try to separate those two looks there. Now, here's the thing. Let's zoom in a little. Let's see, we back up. Okay. Here's the thing. I like the way this light is looking there, right? Because we got some funny looking different little intensities. Well, we're going to duplicate that again. And we're going to back it up. And we're going to hit it from another spot. Bam. That's called backlighting, fam. Okay, so we can hit it, say, from that spot. Back it up a little. Okay, I think that actually might work. Let's see. Let's see intensity. Turn that intensity down there. Let's see cone angle. Okay, I'm liking that cone because I want to hit that some of that down there. And let's see what this feather do. All right, so we're gonna keep it like that. So now we got a little something, right? Now what I like to do is when we go back to view, we're gonna zoom it on back. Let's go back to the 3D world here and let's kind of tweak a little bit because that's kind of hot. And we don't want to lose definition. So let's see, turn down the brightness. That's fine. Maybe it's the angle here. That's good. That's good. That's good. Kind of liking what that does there. And this is adding a little more thing. Let's see something about light fall off here. Okay, I'm liking that light fall off there. So as you see, it can get it can get pretty intense. You may do something different. Okay, so I can rotate the environment, change the total look of the font altogether. One thing I'm not liking though, I'm not liking this here. I'm not liking the black there, but we may continue to work with this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't want to waste all your time. I do want to show you the exact step by step, but I don't want to waste time tweaking around. So I'm going to find the perfect settings, or better yet, I'll tell you what. If you want, you can just fast forward while I tweak these settings here. But I tweak it to perfection. And that's the difference between professionals and amateurs. You want to be a professional. And actually, I think we're kind of okay here. I think I'm going to work with this because we're going to add some glows and things like that. So let me do this. We're going to keep that there. And I'm going to export this right now as a Photoshop frame. And I'm going to call that Taj Text 2. So Taj Text 2. And we'll save like so. And now let's go back up to Photoshop and continue the fun. So let's open that. Taj Text 2. Right here. And there you have it. And now we should be able to do is drag and drill snap. Bam. Okay, we can delete that. Now we got something, and now you see why I was adding those colors in there. See, now it, and I'm glad it's large. We can shrink it down. So there we have it. Now, this angle is kind of cool, I'm kind of liking that there. Say we shrink that down a little more. What happens if you bend that? All right, I think that's kind of working. Should we shrink it a little more? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like that. We got those greens in there. We got those reflections. We got those oranges in there. You see how that works? And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and let's add a glow to that. Yeah. And let's see if we should add a color dodge glow. The color dodge glow is pretty nice, pretty intense there. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now, as you see, it looks very, very productive. Maybe we can get back in here, paint in some more white. Let's get white here. And let's paint in some more white to reveal some more of that face up there. She got beautiful hair. We want to be able to, oops, ooh, sorry about that. We want to be able to expose that hair. So we'll leave that, yeah. Yeah, now we can see more of her hair. Okay. Now we got a little something here. Got a little something. Maybe we can expose that shoulder. A little bit of that arm. And maybe some of that hand down there. Yeah. Yeah. Better, better. Okay. Now we got something. Now we're working with something, you see? And what I want to do here is we're going to kind of start adjusting some levels here with the touch, making it more intense. I don't want to brighten it, but okay, I think that's good. That's working there. And what other type of elements can we put into it? We'll see, because we got so much going on in the background, that pretty much solves it all. Let's put some dummy text just to kind of see what things is feeling like. We're going to call this music video premiere. Music video premiere, just to kind of get a feel of what's happening. This is just a dummy. It's another dummy flyer, you know. Music video premiere and presented by Flex Your Skills. Now, placement is very important, fam. You don't just put things any old where just because you think you can. Contrast is also important as well. Right now, you can't hardly see the music video. So the goal is, I'm gonna move this. We're gonna do something different with that. But the goal is to be able to see it. So with that music video premiere, bring it up a little bit more, not too big. You don't want nothing taken away from the key elements around here, the rest of the key elements. And what I like to do here is put a stroke on it. Not a big stroke, a little bitty stroke, a little pen stroke. And so it won't be it won't stand too much away from all of the other dynamics. We're not gonna have it pitch black. I like to have it like a little, kind of like dark gray, kind of very subtle, as long as you can read it. So now we're able to read it. Okay, so we got that going on, and now all we got to do is put put information up. So I'm gonna change that. We're not gonna use that. We're not gonna say that right now. We're going to say new hit single, and we'll change the font of that. Now right now we're going to put it down here, so we want to pay attention to contrast. That's what we put main focus on right now. Now you don't want none of your text or anything to get lost. You want everything readable, but you also want everything to merge and blend in flawlessly. So you got to you got to know what fonts to pick, and you got to know the sizes. So right now we got that new hit single. See, that's not standing out. It's not standing out. So we carefully select different elements here. We would never pick nothing like that bold. Not for that anyway. Maybe for a title. Okay, that seemed okay. Maybe we add some weight to it by making it bold. Okay, so new hit single. Okay, this seems okay. And what we might can do here is add a stroke to it so we can see it. Now, strokes, of course, is too big. Now, sometimes you can use an outer glow, make it black, because you want to you're trying to keep things. You don't want nothing really standing out. You don't really want that. Okay, all right. Now that might work. See, we don't want to take away from the dynamics of that name, 𝗳𝗲, right there, because her, the background and the name is the main characters of this flyer. So you don't want to take that, you want to stay loyal to that. That's the main thing people want to see. But then you don't want nothing else to stick out like a sore thumb. All of the rest of the information. And if you take a course called typography, they teaches, is that the proper way of saying it? They teach you how to use different texts and how to place different texts and anchors and weights and the size of it, and if you the framing of it, and is it too small, is it too big, is it too bold, is it too large? You got to really, there's fundamentals about it, and once you understand them fundamentals, then you can start breaking the rules. Now we're going to call this grind time. Oops, sorry. Grind time. Boom. New hit single, grind time. That got to have more weight than the introduction. So let's bring that up until it looks comfortable here. Now, because we got this energy, this is a lot of energy, this can't be simple. This have to have some energy as well. So let's change, no, that's too much energy. That's the type of energy that it should be. Okay, that might be okay. We'll keep in mind that because the logo here, her logo have curves and straight lines, and each alphabet has the same weight. We want to keep that in mind when we putting together following information, following, video. No. That might work. Probably bold. Okay, that is already bold. That actually might work. Let's see how that looked there. That may actually work. So, but let me do this. Let's select it all. And let's go up here and auto that. And I'll bring it up just a little bit. So we want our spacing to be decent. Now you notice that we got 𝗳𝗲, then we have a different font here, then we got a different font there, representing what's going on here. Now something we might can do with this, we might can actually change the color of that font. Let's see what happens if we put I kind of like that. Kind of like that. Let me show you something that I would do though, just so it won't be just so static. I would like to first it needs to be rasterized. Well, you know what, before I rasterize it, let me select that, and I'm going to add some other dynamics to this so it just won't be regular. So we're going to add another layer, and I'm going to get a soft brush, and I'm going to get a soft brush. I'm going to pick green, but I'm going to pick a darker green. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint to give it some dynamic, you see? And then what I can also do is go a little lighter and maybe just hit up there, or hit there, or maybe even hit the middle. So now we got a little dynamic going on, right? Now that's on its own layer. So now what I like to do is since it's selected, I like to go in there and contract it, which means shrink it about 1 or 2 pixels. So I'm gonna say 2 pixels. Now I want to invert it, because what I'm doing is, the reason why I'm inverting it, because what I'm going to do is delete what's outside of that line. So if I hit delete, so now it makes this simple text dimensional. You see that? I made it dimensional. And I can even go in there, since it's inverted, I can go back in there with, let's say something even darker. And, oops, sorry about that. Step back, invert, re-invert, and I can see that. So I can hit that, make it a little darker, give it dimension. You see that up there. Okay, I didn't mean to actually touch that up there. Let me see, maybe I can erase that up there. Or that might be even cool, but whatever. I'll keep that like that. All right, but see, now I add some dimension. So now if we remove it, let's deselect. Now we see we got some little dimension. Didn't even use 3D. So sometimes I like to do that. So now we got that going. It looks pretty good. It's very dynamic. It's not all by itself. It's not popping too much. You see the title, but it's all in, you know, in relevance to everything, in context. That's the word. It's in context with everything else that's going on. So we pretty much got something going on here. Now what we can do here now, since we already got these layers already kind of chopped up, I can go in here and just grab some elements that I already got. Say, for example, just take that and drag it to there, just so I ain't got to rewrite it. And, oh, there's a few other things I like to do, and always like to do. Let me grab this too, just because it's just some fun font. Is that embedded? Oh, I'm not able to grab that. I'll just type it out. So I'll just say Detroit's own new hot artist of 2016. Just some secular information. And we could just put it up there. It just really, honestly, I'm just adding some additional fonts just for the sake of the tutorial. I don't really know what it's going to say. I'll create something better. All right, and we're not going to keep that black. We're going to take that down, and let's change that because we don't want it. That's good. As a matter of fact, that look like the lighter, possibly the better. So it blends in a little bit more. All right, now there's a few other elements we're going to add in there to really put some sparkle to what's going on. So a secret here, we're going to light up this here. It's got a lot of shine to it, but we want to really bring it home. So the first thing we're going to do, I got some lens flares. So I'm going to take a lens flare. We're going to get a lens flare brush. And swish it across the board. So we'll pick, let's see how this look here. Oh, sorry, wrong color. All right, I'm gonna probably delete it. I just want to see how it look. Okay, no, that's too much, too big. I'm gonna get that line there. I like that line. You see the direction that line going. Okay, it's going that way. Let's shrink it down. We use the bracket keys to shrink that down. Okay, so I'm not liking that at all. We're not going to use that, so forget about it. But what we will use is something that's actually usable, which would be lens flare. There we go. Now, few secrets, fam. I'm going to express a couple secrets. First thing we're going to do before we put these lens flares here is we're going to put some halos on there. Now, I want to halo that. So I'll select that color. We'll make it, that's pretty much the kind of the hue. Now we're going to go dark, right? I want to go dark. We're going to hit OK. We're going to change this to screen, because what I want to do, we're going to go back to a soft brush. What I want to do is only extract the brightness of that. So what happens is when you select it now, it's screening out anything dark, and it's only laying what's lighter, and it gives it this halo kind of like a glow. You know what I mean? Shrink it down, hit it a little more, hit it, and we can go to a few other spots, and it kind of gives it a glow, right? That's a good one there. I'm gonna blow this up, put one there. You know, because realistically, when that much fire and things like that is going on, you got a lot of glowing going on. You do. Let's change the color a little and maybe go over here and have a little bit more brightness happening, a little more hotness. And let's go there, light the inside of that up. And now we got some green. So let's go select the, well, I guess the green, it really don't matter. Hit the dark. And there we go. So now we got some green hue going on. See that? You see that? Maybe a little lighter. See, so not only is it, and we could put some over here. Put some right there. Right there. And get a little more lighter, because we see that it's lighting up right there. So we'll get a little lighter, and then we'll put it here. You see how that works? And it's kind of like a gleam, right? Got a little gleam going on. A little glows on her clothes there. Right there. And then, after we do all that, and if you look at it here, it look all dark and muddy, but it's all glowing over there. See, that's how it goes down, Bobby Brown. Let's put some other glows. We're going to go to our yellows, and we'll stick with, let's say, something like that. And we'll intensify some of that there. There we go. Yeah, boy. All right, and now we're going to go to another layer, and then we're going to select. Now we're going to select them star boys, right here. So now this is going to make a little more sense, and then we're going to do something after that. So first, we're going to add some of our shimmies. Boom, nice. Another one right there. Shrink it down, make it intense. Put one right there. And one right there. You see that? Shrink it, put another one. Boom. You see that? See how we adding that beautiful sparkle? Now, something we finna do that's even more fun. We're going to keep on this layer and go to the glow. Let's go to the glow. We're going to go to the glow. And there's some different settings that you can use to really realify this look. So a lot of times I like to use color dodge, but sometimes color dodge don't always work. It works for other glows, but not necessarily the glow. But I think this is actually working. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I don't want too much though, but it's giving me, and what it's doing is when you use color dodge, fam, this is the secret. When you use color dodge, what it does is it takes the other color that's under it and it responds to the other color. You see, that's without the glow, that's with the glow, but this here, how it's reacting to that and how it's reacting to that, that's due to color dodge. Let me show you something. If we was to change it to just regular normal glow, you see what it does? See what that does? But if we go to, even if we change it to screen, it's still not going to affect the surrounding colors. But when we go to color dodge, boom, it responds to other colors. And if you intensify that, it does other little fun little things. I sound like Bob Ross, and y'all know it, man. All right, so now we got that happening there. Maybe we can even put one right there. You see that? Grind time. See it? Ting. Got the little ting going on. And I think that's it for this particular tutorial, fam. Yeah, it took a little minute, but you know, it's very dynamic looking, and all we did was we ran an action to explode that background. We went into After Effects to come up with a unique title, and we got a little freaky with a simple text, and that's it. Oh, and you know, I probably would do something like this. I just wouldn't leave that naked. I will go in here, and I'll go in here, and I would do something like so, and we will probably mess around with maybe a orange here or brown, and then I'll put something down there, and we turn it around here, bring it around town, put it there, and probably another element here. Actually, you know what I can do? It's another thing I can do. I can go back to this particular original image here and go find one of my glows. Here's my glow, and there's a shape. There's a shape. Maybe take this and let's see. There's the main glow. Let me see here. I mean main shape. Sorry. Ding dong. Take that. Make another copy. Oh, that look intense. Actually, I'm gonna keep that. So let me shrink double that, and then I'm gonna make another copy, and I'm going to shrink that down. Boom. And then we'll bring it down here. That's right, I said him. That's the superstar. I don't know what it means, but I know it means something. And then we'll drop the opacity. Boom. So we just got a little something going on. All right, fam. That's going to wrap it up for this one, man. Dang. Y'all got me working too hard, man. Learning all the secrets and everything. All right, fam. So I hope you benefited from this tutorial. And I hope you learned something. And definitely stay tuned, because there's much more where this comes from. Different styles, different techniques. And I want you to blow the minds of your customers. All right. So till the next time. See you in a minute. See you when I spin it. Thank you for watching. Peace.